Greetings to you this day. This is Michelle Strickland. I'm coming to you today with my daily theology lesson. It's my daily meditation that I do for myself. I record it and I release it because maybe somebody else out there can get something out of it. It just so happens that I love God and I love theology. I want to become a better principled person. Choose God this day. The bad guys, they sin. The good guys, we sin. We all sin. That's my little friend. It's whom you serve. You don't have to be perfect. No one is. No one. That doesn't mean that you don't have to deal with your consequences behind your behind your behaviors or anything. We all do. None of us get away from that. Love yourself, because if you love yourself, if nobody else loves you, you'll be okay. And never give up on yourself. Never. If you have yourself, you have everything. You can always rebuild if you lost everything. If you have yourself, you have everything. Anyway, for those of you just tuning in, I focus out of three major religious texts: the Bible, the Quran, and I'm in an introductory Buddhist text called The Shape of Suffering. And it deals with dependent co-arising. And without no this, there's no that. And everything we say and do has an effect on our senses. That's just to give you an idea. I'm coming out of the Bible, the rotation for the Bible. I try to rotate the text. I think twice a week, sometimes more, sometimes less. But anyway, we're back in the rotation for the Bible. We're in Mark chapter 6, and we're going to start at verse 1. It's a very long chapter, so I'm not going to get through the whole thing. I'm not going to read the whole thing. I'm not going to try to do that. It's be too long. So I'll let you know what verse I stop at. Anyway, it's Mark chapter 6. Sorry. Mark chapter 6, verse 1. Starting at verse 1. And he went out from thence and came into his own country, and his disciples followed him. And when the Sabbath day was come, he began to teach in the synagogue, and many hearing him were astonished, saying, From whence hath this man these things? And with wisdom is this which is given unto him, that even such mighty works are wrought by his hands. Is not this the carpenter, the son of Mary, the brother of James and Joseph? Excuse me, let me say that again. Is not this the carpenter, the son of Mary, the brother of James and Joseph, or it's Joses, Joses, and Judah and Simon, and are not his sisters here with us? And they were offended at him. But Jesus said unto them, A prophet is not without honor, but in his own country, and among his own kin, and in his own house. That's how it goes. It is. That's I believe that. And he could there do no mighty work, save that he laid his hands upon a few sick folk and healed them. That wasn't enough. Raising people from the dead and healing people wasn't enough. They couldn't recognize him. Our Christ. And he marveled because of their unbelief. And he went round about the villages teaching. And he called unto him the 12 and began to send them forth by 2 and 3 and gave them power over unclean spirits. So that he told us, I guess, his followers, and the disciples to go out and, and talk. And commanded them that they should take nothing for their journey, save a staff only, no scrip, no bread, no money in their purse. That's rough. But be should with sandals and not put on 2 coats. Yeah, that's what it says. And he said unto them, In what place soever ye enter into the house, there abide till ye depart from the place. And whoever shall not receive you, nor hear you when ye depart thence, shake off the dust under your feet for a testimony against them. Verily I say unto you, it shall be more tolerable for Sodom and Gomorrah in the day of judgment than for the city. And they went out and preached that men should repent. And they cast out many devils and anointed with oil many that were sick and healed them. So his followers, his disciples and his followers were able to heal people too. We should be able to do that if we have enough faith. What's wrong with that? And King Herod heard of him, for his name was spread abroad. He said that John the Baptist was risen from the dead, and therefore mighty works do show forth themselves in him. Others said, that is Elias. And others said, that it is a prophet, or as one of the prophets. But when Herod heard thereof, he said, it is John, whom I beheaded. He is risen from the dead. So, what had happened was John, they had killed John, but that we can't go back because we'll get to that story eventually, okay? But anyway, because in these chapters, it goes back and forth and refers to different sections of the Bible and different characters in the Bible at different times, okay? We're in the New Testament now, so we're talking about, once we get in the New Testament, start talking about things that happened in the past a lot of times. Or, they might talk about some prophesy about what will happen or what were to come, but they talked a lot about the characters from their past, which is our past too. But do you understand what I'm saying? For Herod himself had sent forth and laid a hold upon John and bound him in prison for Herodias' sake, his brother Philip's wife, for he had married her. For John had said unto Herod, it is not lawful for thee to have thy brother's wife. Okay, didn't we just read something about that in the Quran? We just read something about that in the Quran. This is the New Testament saying this. The Quran came, I believe, after the Bible. Correct me, somebody, if I'm wrong. If I'm wrong, I'll apologize. Therefore, Herodias had quarreled against him and would have killed him, but she could not. But that's what it says. But Herod feared John, knowing that he was a just man and a holy For Herod feared John, knowing that he was a just man and holy, and observed him. And when he heard him, he did many things, and he heard him gladly. And when a covenant day was come, that Herod on his birthday made a supper to his lords, high captains, and chiefs. Let me say that again. And when a covenant day was come, that Herod on his birthday made a supper to his lords, high captains, and high estates of Galilee. And when the daughter of the said Herodias came in and danced and pleased Herod and them that sat with him, the king said unto the damsel, ask of me whatsoever thou wilt, and I will give it to thee. Okay, see, got caught up in the moment. Oh boy, got caught up in the moment. Don't get caught up in the moment. And he swore unto her, whatsoever thou shalt ask of me, I will give it to thee unto the half of my kingdom. Now, how are you going to just... Let me just keep on going. Was that beguiling? And she went forth and said unto her mother, what shall I ask? And she said, the head of John the Baptist. Let me leave it right there. I stopped on verse 24, 1 through 24. Mark chapter 6, verse 1 through 24.